Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's reads. Just a quick couple of things before we get into it. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca. I like to put that out there in case somebody's pirating my stuff. It happens once in a while. It happens to all of us, it seems, one sooner or later. Also, I also do in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. So if you're near Herkimer, New York, feel free to shoot me an email to see if you can get a time slot for that. I have an Instagram that's below that shows my current pricing. Of course, if you would like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. The donation information is also below if you just want to send a donation, which I very much appreciate. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Everything is I feel everything is like really spooky all of a sudden. Like, very eerie. Like there's a little bit of mystery going on there. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm using circular cards this time. Around. What's at the bottom? 5 of Swords. Other people may not believe in you, but I don't know. Aquarius usually isn't held back by that, in my opinion. In my opinion. There's one card that's face down. It pushed out of the deck when I was shuffling, and I just kind of left it there. So, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is going to be an interesting way to start, in my opinion. There's something in the past that I feel like when I look back, at this point, I could see how that used to control me. But once I figured out what was really going on there, I broke free from it. And now it's just the task of making sure it's not repeating. Because whatever this is that you broke free from, you're like, I didn't realize it was happening until I looked at it. And I was like, wait a minute. It's kind of like when you have a friend, and you realize that they are just manipulating you and screwing you over to their benefit, and they're just pushing it as far as they feel like they can get away with it, and then they pull it back and they act really nice so that you like them again, and you realize, wait a minute. They don't actually care about me. They care about what I can do for them. My feelings don't matter. What they want from me, that's what matters to them. And then you're like, wait a minute, that's not a friend. And if they're not a friend, why am I doing this? Why am I even bothering? Once you realize it, once you see it, you're like, okay, we're not doing that again. And if somebody else comes in, it's kind of like somebody new comes into your life and you start being like, something feels uncomfortable and very familiar. And I'm just not able to put my finger on it just now. And then all of a sudden, it clicks. You're like, oh, SOBBNT, as I like to say, just because I'm that one. It's kind of like, that's happening again. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it is, but we're done. We're done. So this is stemming from something that you've already learned your lesson. But the thing is, because, life can't be simple. The question is, when are people actually doing it, and when do I think they're doing it? Some people can create walls instead of boundaries, if you follow me. It's kind of like blocking people out and not letting people get close because you think they're doing something negative versus, putting up a boundary and like giving it a chance and like, are they that negative? Is that really happening, or do they just have similar traits? It's kind of like somebody who maybe they like racing, for example, and somebody in your past also liked racing, and you have a certain opinion about people who like racing, which isn't true. But it's like, that's how I don't let anybody who likes racing, they're not allowed in my life. But then if you give somebody a chance and you're like, oh, this person likes racing, they're all into that, but actually they're a pretty cool person. That actually, like, it's kind of like realizing, like, oh, I was equating this the wrong way. Weird analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Because somebody's trying to get into your life. And the question is, do you believe in them? I feel like I'm blocking. I'm not giving something a chance. Queen of Pentacles reversed, I'm not even giving it a chance. I'm not even listening to it. I'm not giving it a chance to show me what possibilities are here. for whatever reason, it could be a physical characteristic. It could be a like I said, racing before. It could be that they like something like that, and maybe you're equating it the wrong way. Or possibly. It's kind of like when people do that, like, it's almost like people who write with number 2 pencils. Thinking that anybody who is insistent on writing with a number 2 pencil, oh, well, they have this characteristic and that characteristic. That may not be true, but sometimes people get those things in their head and they don't realize they've done it. I don't know how else to say it, because I feel like I'm making it super simple and it might be a much more complicated characteristic. Sometimes, like, I've seen people who say that people who laugh too loud, they think are just very bully-like, which is not always the truth, because sometimes once in a while I laugh too loud and I don't think I'm bully-like, but you know, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Okay, so somebody's trying to come in. Let's just get it to there. And it's kind of like you have security set up in your emotions to where I don't let certain people into my life because I don't want certain problems. And it feels like it may be subconscious that you don't realize you set up certain boundaries that are like, oh, you know, certain people, like, I've seen this with, like, people who like football. I've seen this happen with other people, like, oh, they're into football, though they're probably not for me. There's great people who love football. It has nothing to do with actual somebody's quality of character. Maybe you don't like football, and that's okay, but just because they do doesn't mean you have to. Is there something, one more time, because I feel like I'm missing something with this. What am I missing? Sun card coming in, and the King of Swords reversed. There's something really good here that you're not seeing that's good. I feel like it's being misjudged. And I feel like they're saying, give yourself a chance, give yourself some credit too. If you get in there and you sort it out, you dig through it, if it really isn't good, if it's really not right for you, you will get out of it. It will not hold you down. So it's kind of like there's something from the past that's like I'm protecting myself from. I don't want that to repeat again. And there's something about the protections have become more like walls. You're having walls more than boundaries. Boundaries are like, you know, they're like knee level. Don't cross that or you'll trip. And if you trip, I'm going to kick you out of my area. Versus like a wall, like you couldn't get in here if you wanted to. You couldn't get in this place if you wanted to because I put up a wall. 10 foot with barbed wire and razors at the top. You know, you can't get in here even if you wanted to. And it's realizing that that's here. Something really good. The Sun card came up on the dice too. But it's kind of like I'm not giving something a chance. I'm not even considering it. And I feel like I'm kind of shortcutting myself. I'm not giving myself a chance to get something I really want here. It's not realizing that this situation can provide me what I'm looking for. It reminds me of like business opportunities or even relationships. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. But it's kind of like this person doesn't look like I want them to look. Or this person doesn't act like I want them to act. So they can't be what I'm looking for. Meanwhile, if you give them a chance and you get to know them a little better, you might find out they have multi-sided personality, multi-sided interests, and they might show you something that you didn't realize they had. Which is interesting that I'm doing this reading for Aquarius, because I think of Aquarius as being highly intellectual and seeing a lot of what other people don't notice, but they are giving me this caveat. If you're not even willing to look, you're never going to have a chance to even possibly see it if you're not even willing to look. King of Cups on its side. Is it the king? Yep, cups, vessels, same thing. I feel like I'm really kind of boxing myself in, and there's a breath of fresh air that I'm not giving myself the chance to take. Whatever the energy is around you, it's not going to force itself into your life. I think I like that. You have the Emperor on its side. Emperor doesn't do anything they don't want to do. They're not, but this person, if it's a person or situation, doesn't know what to think of you. It is not going to try to push you one way or the other. It's not going to try to make you stay. It's not going to try to make you go. It doesn't know much about you. You kind of have the advantage with that. Because if it doesn't really know what to think of you, and it's kind of like you're here, great, you're not great, you can find out what you need to find out. You can make a better decision because they're not going to try to block you or try to make you see them better than you want them to. You know when somebody really likes you and they want you to like them, they make everything all pretty, shiny, wonderful, yay, yay, yay. That's kind of a problem because that doesn't show you the truth of who they are. That shows you who they want you to believe they are. Vice versa, if they don't like you, they might do some negative things because they don't want you to like them. This is kind of right in the middle, kind of like they don't care whether you like them or not, so you'll get the actual truth without much pushback. I feel like that's a good thing. I'm seeing that, and I'm also seeing this, the Five of Swords, like, they're not understanding, like, what you really want, or if you even want anything. They're not even sure why you're there. They're not even sure if it matters. That's the Five of Swords, in my opinion. It could go somewhere good. I feel like if you get to know them, I feel like this could link up. Sometimes the Emperor talks about Aries energy. That does match up with Aquarius, from what I understand of astrology. They can be very bold and very forthcoming. And Aquarius can do a lot with that if you want to. It doesn't have to mean you're dealing with an Aries energy, but I'm just saying if it's something like that, just to be fair. If you do give this a chance, there's a possibility, there's a good possibility, that, well, all right, at the very least, there'll be some healing. Because I feel like I'm finding something, there's something here you're finding out. At the very least, you will move forward into the next level of something you need to. It's almost like, at the very least, realizing I have walls. It's kind of like realizing I have walls, and I was like, I keep saying, I'm complaining that nobody's visiting, and then I'm realizing, oh, well, I do have that wall there that nobody can get by. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Aquarius would do that. I feel like Aquarius, you'll tell me in the comments, and you guys will usually share. If I'm completely crazy, you'll let me know. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I did put up that wall. So I guess that's why nobody's visiting. Like, oh yeah. Especially with Aquarius, you guys can be very, very inviting, or you can be very, very biting. I had, my grandmother was an Aquarius, and just when she wanted to be not liked, when she wanted people to like her, she was very accommodating, very likable. She knew what to say and when to say it. She was very intelligent. But when she didn't want to, and she didn't want to be bothered, like, she gave off that, she didn't have to communicate verbally, but you could tell by the way she walked, by the way she looked at you, like, you better go away. You better go away if you like your life. I'm just saying, I'm giving the analogy of like the house with the wall, but you know, I'm just saying you have a lot of different ways to communicate. Where this could go, you could have a big change coming in a very positive way. It's not about allowing just anything to show up. It's about consciously realizing, I've got this blocking things. I put that there and I can take it down. And if I want to take that down, I also have the right to put up a gate instead of a wall. Maybe not a wall, but a gate. And people have to approach the gate, and I'll decide who can come in, but I want to make sure I make good decisions who I'm letting in. I kind of was treating that wall like a gate, but it's a wall. Nobody's getting past it because literally it's a wall. I need to take down that wall and create a gate so I can bring in who I want and not just block everything that comes my way. There doesn't seem to be any conflict with this, which is fine. I don't think of Aquarius as being afraid of conflict. I think that's why I'm just kind of like shocked that there's none, because there's none. I don't think of Aquarius being afraid of conflict anyway. Well, I think I had a grandmother, and she'll tell you if she needed to say something, she would tell you. The Five of Wands reverse, and you are right. There's some people that are waiting to get into your life. So, for example, say we're going to go this direction. Maybe you've been single for a long time, and you're kind of like, I kind of would like somebody, but the right one. And you're realizing, okay, I'm not letting anybody have a chance. So you get somebody. You might actually find out that not only were you blocking a romantic partner, you might have been blocking some social connections. And you might get a lot more than just like the one person coming in. You might have like a whole bunch of people coming in. One romantic partner, unless you want more, whatever works for you. But you know what I mean? You might find out that a lot of things start to change in your life because you're realizing that wall was quite big. And I was blocking a lot more than I realized. I don't see conflict here. And I keep questioning, like, it doesn't seem realistic, but I'm not seeing conflict. So it depends on what you're dealing with. There's a slow change. A lot may come in, but it's going to be a slow change. Again, instead of a wall, a gate. I didn't realize that was an option, but I guess it makes sense. And with analogies, it makes sense to me anyway. I had a wall, but instead of a wall, it's not like I'm just getting rid of the wall. I'm just converting it into a gate. People can come in, but you got to pass the checkpoint first. The world came in upside down, which to me says there is a new phase coming in, especially with the way everything's going in this reading, and there's changes coming. Changes are coming, but it's not like, you know, selling a house. You got to get out, go into something else. It's more like, you know, renovating an old barn or renovating an old house. The more you update it, the more you change it, the more livable it becomes, the more nicer it becomes. It's like I'm renovating it. The change is here, but I got to kind of build it up to what I want it to. It may take 5 to 10 years before it actually is where I want it to be. But when it gets there, it's going to be exactly what I want it to be, because I slowly and carefully changed it and tested it out. Like, do I like this color? Do I not like this color? Do I want this to be here? Do I want this there? You know what I mean? Do I want to remodel this? Do I not want to remodel this? All that stuff. Slow, careful changes. The Six of Pentacles, like this, tells me we're not going to be jumping into changes, but we're going to keep, you know, reevaluating, you know, move a couple steps forward. Do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I want to keep going this direction? Do I want to go over this way instead? Do I want to try that? It's a slow process, but it's not bad. I don't feel like I'm labored with it. I feel like it's comfortable. It's kind of like I've converted this wall into a gate, and this is how this works, to where I feel like I can let these things in without feeling like I'm at a disadvantage. Judgment goes in your favor, but I keep getting with the Eight of Pentacles, like I just said. It's going to take some time, but the thing is, if you decided, I really do feel, if you decided you wanted it to go faster, I feel like it's an option. I just feel like for the majority of you that this is going to hit for, that's not going to be really something you want. In fact, sometimes you might just kind of shut that gate and just put a no admittance sign on it. Every now and then you might be like, you know what, no, for now, no, we're just, come back in another time, not today. You might put like, no admittance, today, locked 3 times over, nope, not today. So it's not that it can't go faster, I just feel like you're not going to want it to, so you'll be the one in control of that gate. Keep that in mind. Anything else? I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.